Alright, so we found a really solid model to help with decision making. I've begun compiling everything and trying to put the formula into a new Excel sheet. And I feel like that's going to take a while, but the footage you're seeing now is pretty much me trying to get back to the regular work schedule. I do briefly want to talk about a game theory concept, specifically tackling early game, middle game, and late game strategies, and how these relate to me reaching my goals. There's an old chess proverb that says, play the early game by the book, play the middle game like a magician, and play the late game like a computer. This is a really good model that applies to lots of games and indeed also applies to working toward goals in real life. Because in reality, most games are either linear problem solving exercises or something more open ended where the ideas still apply. In chess, there's a pretty clear end goal, but the game has enough complexity that it's very unpredictable to know what's going to happen because there's so many possibilities that can happen in the game. However, since you always start with the same tools, the early game has been really well studied as to what the best openings are. The middle game is where it gets really unpredictable because so many positions can emerge that have never been seen before, and you have to use your experience, intuition, and knowledge of game principles to figure out the next move. Once you get to the late game, though, where either player has a clear advantage or the game is about to be a draw, based on the pieces and positions on the board, it's just a matter of execution. You have to do it right. Anyone who's familiar with chess is pretty familiar with these ideas, and of course they apply to many, many games, especially in zero-sum games where there's one side and another, and one side has to win. And like I said, games are problem-solving exercises. And essentially, in order to master any game, you have to do the same thing that you have to do in real life, which is figure out how to do things via scientific method. So as of right now, in the beginning of my 365 journey, I want to use generally conservative strategies, especially when it comes to earning, saving, and investing money, to give myself some tried and true momentum. My main sources of income right now are my day job as an art teacher, freelancing at home part-time, and also content creation and dividend income from various investments. All pretty basic, and each one has the potential to scale really hard. But before I start scaling, I do want to play by the book and focus on which source of revenue has the greatest additive power in a linear fashion. And that requires simply grinding out the hours in my part-time jobs. Now when it comes to freelancing at home, I can greatly increase my skill and speed. And those are definitely things I can increase by at least 1%. In the next few days or weeks, I'm going to focus on increasing my speed and overall just saving time throughout my day. Of course, I will keep you updated and let's see how this goes.